It's falling. It's falling.
Stay with us, please. We'll just help you up there.
There we go. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
There we go.
Perfect. Get the logo out. Yeah.
How are you, James Walker?
Good.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Clink. Clink. Thanks for the lovely beverage. It's very refreshing, James.
I know. Hopefully by next week I'll have a couch and it will make this so much easier.
Oh my god, so you're getting a couch, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it the same one you saw?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah.
It's a fold-out bed couch.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I've got low expectations and that's the best way to be. Don't expect the universe. It's not going to be the most flash couch.
Imagine if it takes up the entire kitchen. I'll be like, James, you've gone to town now.
I know, right? How's your week? What did you get up to?
Oh, it's been a crazy week, but enjoyable. The sun, we're finally getting sun in the sky. That's like the highlight of my life. But it was shit weather the entire week in Melbourne. But yeah, besides that, I've been dandy. I've eaten, I've drunk, I've had a good time.
What did you have? You didn't even tell me. What did you get?
I went to Daiso. That was the plan, to go to the $2.80 shop.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm looking for party things, yeah?
Yeah.
So I was making my way up and then I saw, bloody sushi train. Yeah, I'll go get one piece of sushi. I go in and they had bugger all and I'm standing there and he's like, do you want takeaway? I'm like, no, I want to sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I sat down on my own and I'm like, this is actually quite fun in your own piece because normally we always go with people or something. I'm watching the train go by, had like 2 plates, watching the train go by and I'm like...
It was nice.
I did that for half an hour waiting for James to get home from work today.
Yeah, I had oat overtime, so I just wasn't very helpful because Jess was tired.
I had to walk the streets of
and she
Melbourne.
had to fill in time. I was like, oh no.
So I ate, and then when I was done doing that, I had like a sausage roll after that.
And I went for a little pig.
Jesus Christ! I ate and I ate, and then James goes, "Oh, what's for dinner? What are we having?" I'm like,
I've already done.
I've already finished it. Yeah.
So do you want to introduce this week's topic?
No, I want to know about you. How was your week, James?
My week was great.
Okay.
There's nothing really to add. It was amazing. I caught up with friends, family.
Did you meet any victims?
Victims?
Yeah, victims.
Oh,
with a mentality.
I did meet a victim.
Did you?
Yeah.
I did too.
Tell me about your one.
Well, basically, it's someone I've known for a while, and they come in and they just go for it. And I talk to this person online, and it's just me. Wah. And it's kind of like they're like the only ones with a problem. And it's just them going at full speed in front of your face. Sometimes when I do catch up with this person, and then they bugger off, and then they message me later and like, oh, I didn't ask about you. Sorry about that. But it's becoming like a habit.
It's becoming every time.
Yeah, it's becoming every time. And I'm a good listener. I listen, but for fuck's sake, like.
Yeah, victims. Hey, poor me. I think that's a recurring line. The universe is against them.
Yeah, always.
You're against them. You don't understand. You got your shit together.
And I can't. You got your shit together, but I don't. So I'm gonna have an attitude about it because the world's against me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can.
I think we all
How many
touch
people?
on that to various degrees. Obviously, there's big victims.
You know what's scary is
little
that
victims.
we don't know if we're that person or not.
I know. I think like
each person is their own.
Yeah, everyone has a version of someone.
Yeah.
What do you think I think it's to do with scarcity. Where you think that there's not enough room or space for both of you, or that the world, there's not that opportunity. I also think it's like confidence,
insecurity,
also frame of mind,
which is like your adversity has weaved you into that.
Yeah, but also not looking at things from that perspective of, okay, things have been hard, but what can I do to turn it around?
Yeah, no, there's none of that.
There's no
none of that. There's no end thought. There's
there's no what's the word? No well thought out plan.
No.
Like, you know how sometimes you can be going pretty tough through life, and you do kind of when
We
you're
all
going
go through that,
and
but we
you're like,
always come at the end of
it's tough
afterwards going,
it's poor me, you know,
Yeah.
and then you just kind of go, okay, take a breath.
yeah,
Number 1, you're breathing. Number 2, you're alive. Number 3,
you're in a
it's not that
first world
bad.
country, yeah.
Yeah, that too. You're safe. You're not at
But it's
war.
hard. It's kind of like rich people, they don't see it like that and they're stuck in their mentality. That's the whole thing, like depression, all of it, yeah? You're stuck in your own world.
But you can change your world.
Yeah, but it takes a lot to even get out of the bed for some people.
Yeah, it does.
So it's kind of just like, what do? Ask for help. Reach out.
Yeah, there's plenty of support
people.
Services as
Yeah.
well.
There's your circle. If you don't have a circle, there's support
Fitness,
services
health.
online.
Move your body, change minds.
Go to a different, like this pandemic, go to a different room. You don't have to stay in the same room.
Also, to make your own space. I think like one of the biggest thing is, I would say self-parenting, I guess. Often, you know, you can be thinking, I'm pretty run down, I'm pretty tired. What have I been doing this week that, you know,
I can do better next
week? And like one of them, I think also is just like, comes down to like mothering in terms of what does a mother provide? She provides food, care. Well, that's the old stereotype of a mother, but like, you know, she's the nurturing
basics.
one.
Yeah.
The nurturing one, and the basics of like what do you need to like be okay.
That's
and
right.
like the biggest things people need are just the simple things: shelter, warmth,
And
food.
love.
Yeah.
Love.
And also though that like what can you do to give a bit of love all the time? It could be as simple as picking some flowers from Mother Nature and putting
Or
them
just
in a
go
vase.
stand there and look at a bird.
Yeah.
For half, I did that once. I've done that
What
more
type
than
of bird
once.
was that? What happened?
It was a miner, and I just watched it just try and swallow a worm,
Oh, yeah.
and it got nowhere, and I was laughing at it, and then I was like, oh, it's cute, nature. And it went and got, like, there was a roll down the street, so then it went and jumped on the roll and tried to pick it up, and
Yeah.
that was for half an hour of my day,
Just watching the miner.
just watching the miner. But it's the little things, like it doesn't have to be Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton.
I think even just like, what's
That's
the word?
material possessions. A lot of people put their time in material possessions and think that's how I'm going to get validation from people.
Yeah.
But it's the fake people that you get validation. It's quick company.
I think it's also, I don't know, I think victim mentality is something that you slip into. And
It's quite easy.
Unless you, and especially if you're around people who play the same thing, I think it's another behavior. If your parents have always played it, it's something that you'll probably play. Quite
Environment. And you may not even, until you get to school or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, when people really suffer at school, you're just like, and they realize down the track that this is why.
I think I don't want to get it confused, because I do think that people are suffering and are victims, but I also
and it's good to get it out.
Yeah, but I also think it's good to feel through it, feel the emotion of it, etc., etc. But I think it's a dangerous place to stay in that mentality for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And it's hard, because how do you flip the switch unless you have that self-awareness and that thought process to think about things in different ways?
On having a good support system.
Yeah.
But then that's something you can choose for yourself. But it's hard to let go of a parent. Be like, this parent's not a positive influence. Or I'm staying in the house, I don't have rent to pay for. I can't pay for rent to get out of this house. So you're like stuck in this rut. That is hard.
Yeah.
But again, plenty of support services. And you're not the only one. Human beings have been kicking around for how many centuries?
Yeah.
It's the same
history. Same things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to get out of it, it's kind of like if you want something, if you think about it 100%, you want something, you get it.
Yeah.
Your mind starts going this, that, and everything. It starts cutting corners.
You can when you need to make something work, you'll make it work.
Yeah. When the time is right as well at the same time. It's like going for a job I applied 50 million times. Nothing happened.
Right, yeah.
When the time is right. But then it's that patience as well. If you're giving it your all, then have patience for it. 'Cause that's
Yeah.
kind of like a test too. But yes, one of the signs of victim mentalities is kind of like what James was saying, constantly blaming other people and situations for feeling miserable.
Do you think that like part of that is, I don't know, part of it I feels like it's playing on the idea of, I feel like, fate,
Mm.
and that my fate's not good.
Yeah,
And
some people do
therefore-
say that.
And therefore, I'm a victim of this.
Yeah. Oh, it's
And
just meant to
instead-
be.
Yeah, it's just meant to be. I'm just meant to be in this situation, feeling this shit. It's just how it
Yeah.
is. It's genetic. It's.
Oh, my grandfather went through it.
Yeah, and then I think that you kind of have. You find it. I reckon you find it really hard when you start writing that narrative.
For everything, even when a positive thing happens.
Yeah, if you're doing that, that's really not healthy, because the biggest thing I think is that you write your own narrative. Yes, things are happening externally to them, but you have the ability to be like, look,
To make it happen.
I didn't get that job. What am I going to do? Am I going to cry and mope about it? It wasn't meant for me.
Or I'm going to take it out on other people, like
Yeah,
loved
yeah,
ones
yeah.
or friends.
It wasn't meant for me. It didn't happen. It
That's
didn't
the
work
coward's
out.
way out, though.
It didn't work out. And I think you kind of go from either the external world all against me, or the external world is at play, and that didn't work out. But that doesn't mean that something else won't work out.
Yeah.
And I think
But it's being calm in the moment, yeah? But that's the hardest thing to do. That's kind of like Buddhism teaches you to be calm in the moment.
I think definitely being calm in the moment, but also at the same time there's going to be times when you need to take action.
Yeah. But it's hard to sit there and be like, when shit hits the fan, so to speak,
Yeah.
people automatically are just like, oh, my mother, she neglected me, when
Yeah.
and then you have to click out of it, and you're just like, that's not the issue here, but you're going to tie that into everything else.
Yeah.
And then your mind starts going nuts.
It starts
yeah
making connections.
It starts
that weren't
making
there.
connections, and then that's hard, I think, to snap out of it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like when someone has a problem with you, it's never you.
Yeah.
It's something that's happened in their childhood that they can't deal with, and this has escalated. I'm really pissed off right now, and I'm connecting that to my past because I had no control of my past.
Yeah. So my paper cut this week.
No.
Yeah, this paper cut, it's been really, really hurting me. Really hurting me. And you know what? I could make a connection, and I can play the victim, and I can get really down about it, or I can just take Panadol and get the hell over it. Nah.
A lot of it is kind of like, if
I
you want to
think-
do psychology-wise, the chemical reactions in your brain, it's kind of like depression.
It's trying to rewrite it though. I think like you can. I really do think
If you have the
can.
determination to just...
I think if you've got the creativity to
You don't want to be like a
in the
nutcase though.
No, but
Imagine.
No, but like I think like in part of it, like
Yeah.
why, like in terms of like Albert Einstein and all those people, I think they kind of had to
Force.
use the creativity. Yeah, the force. I guess it's a creative
They
force.
say he used to get high.
Yeah.
Oh, what did he used to do? There's some sort of an effect where just before you fall asleep and then you wake up, you get that thing. He used to, I don't know how he did that, but he used to wake himself up as soon as he was trying to go to sleep. He'd wake up and then he'd quickly go to a piece of paper and just try and figure out some sort of a plan for what he was thinking about. And that's when he got a lot of genius, like,
Ideas.
there's a certain term for that. And he also used to get, I'm pretty sure he used to smoke weed
There
as
you
well,
go.
yeah. And in order to go into the other dimension of thought.
I think it's in the.
But we don't support smoking weed.
No. I think it's in those moments though of like. I guess like, for me, it's in those quiet moments that all of a sudden, when you think nothing's gonna happen, all of a sudden something pops into your head.
But you have to be in the flow and silent. When I want something and I want it
receiving
now,
no, yeah, it's not gonna
never
happen.
happens.
Yeah.
But when you're like thinking about something else, oh, here's this thing I wanted like a year ago.
And then it all clicks.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, this is why that's happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But also, I think like sometimes it's like when you're not even looking for the solution, when you like finally surrender to the fact that, you know, you might not get a solution to it. Often that's when the solution comes to you.
Yeah.
And also, like you said, the calmness and the stillness, it allows you that moment of thought to think beyond logic. I think it comes down to logic as well. I think it's a very logical thing to play the victim.
Yeah.
I think it's that mentality
Yeah,
is a
100%.
very logical way of thinking that, oh, you know, this has happened, and this has happened, and it's perpetuating, and you're writing that sequence. And to me, that makes logical sense that you're going to, from that progression, it's like a linear thing.
Yeah, 100%.
And you're going back and you're making all these connections. Where I think when you start
breaking it down, what's the problem?
Yeah, breaking it up and apart and being a bit crazy about it.
But you have to be careful, like there comes as well a certain time and place for it, otherwise you can have a mental breakdown.
Absolutely. I think
it's very hard.
Suppression is bad. You don't want to suppress something. But I think it's okay to deal with something, think about it, and keep thinking about it, and keep on changing the narrative, because you can change that narrative.
Because that happens with everyone. If we're sitting by ourselves on the train, we're going to be thinking about something, and then you can either escalate it in your head and then you have a shit day.
Yeah.
Or you can have a good day.
It's like, is that thing related to me or not related to me?
Yeah.
That person telling me that I'm a freaking asshole.
Yeah.
I can let that ruin my day.
Yeah. But are you? Do you need another person to tell you who you are?
Exactly.
But it's getting that grasp, isn't it? Something so basic.
I think it's like flipping something and having the creativity to flip things.
Yeah.
To understand that.
And you don't have to justify yourself as well. A lot of people are like, why do you take offense to it? I would have. Well, it's not your path. It didn't happen to you, so why are you...
But you should have stuck up for yourself.
Yeah, that too. Just like, no, you don't understand the level I'm on.
Don't get it. So what would you think is something that would help? What's something that helps you get out of breaking victim mentality when you're in a victim mentality?
I go and get fresh air. And I go to a different area and don't think about anything. It's kind of like meditation where you just
I think that's a really good idea.
You stop everything, positive thoughts, negative thoughts, all of it. You just... And this is something I remember when we went to camp in like, what? Oh no, not camp. What was it? When we went to Listerfield? Retreat. And we had to sit in that room. And I always did this throughout uni and everything. That was actually a really good day. And they were just like, just still your mind. And a lot of people around me couldn't do it. I was the only one that could do it. And I could just sit there and look at a wall. I can do that. I'll do well in prison. Like, I don't want to go to prison, but I do well just looking at a wall and just calming myself. And I'm fine. You do that for a solid like 5-10 minutes. And then it's amazing how your mind just flips. But I think like with creativity as well, the big problem with it is getting interrupted in the process. When someone comes in, or when you're like writing something, I know for me when I'm writing something or doing something, as soon as someone comes in, I lose the thought trail. And then that's the same with meditation. But I'm guessing when you keep going different levels of it, it's kind of like you see these monks and anything can happen and they're just in the Zen place. You know, that's where I would like to be in the future.
I think it like comes down to play.
Yeah, and dedication.
Yeah. You know, like how Alan Watts talks about play as, you know, you don't even have to think about your heart beating. Don't even have to think about your lungs breathing in and breathing out. It's something so natural.
Yeah, it's kind of
James... something to come back to.
James Dean said that. Yeah. He was explaining to Dennis, what's his name? Hoffman or something like that, this other actor. When he did Rebel Without a Cause, he's like, you're thinking about picking up the cigarette. Just pick up the cigarette. What's the drama? He goes, no, I can't do it like you. He goes, don't worry about me. How do you pick up the cigarette down the street? It's normal. Looks like me. But when a camera's on you, what's the problem? And that's the same thing with Alan Watts, yeah?
I think that's exactly the thing, is that when you get caught up in the thinking.
But it's funny when we're around people how naturally we play the game.
Yeah, put on pretenses.
It's just natural, it comes on. But when you put like a camera or when the spotlight is on you, when you think no one's watching.
Also, you know that mirroring is a natural part of I guess the psychology of people. We've been mirroring each other from time to time, and I think that's a problem with victim mentality. Is that when you're surrounded by another victim, you will often be giving off the same vibes, the same energy, the same frequencies of, emotion, feelings, and all that kind of stuff. So what's going to naturally happen as another human being? You're going
I need to fit in.
You're going to surrender to the
Because
victim mentality.
I can't, 100%, how many people?
You can't tell someone. You imagine me being a victim and you saying to me, stop being a victim.
Yeah.
I'm going to take
Yeah.
offense, but to be honest
But
with
what's
you,
funny, those people know.
You're breaking the cycle.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm not going to mirror you. A lot of people love to mirror each other.
Yeah, they do. Just to play the game to feel included.
Yes.
I know a lot of people at my
Instead of-
past job did that. A lot of the girls, I'm going to target the girls in that, where I was actually really good friends with this one girl, and then she got friendly with these other girls, and I was like, yeah, that's
They all
cool.
start mirroring
And
each
then
other.
she started acting like them, and they were always weird around me.
Yeah, because
And
she's
I was
weird
just like,
to you,
didn't.
so then
Yeah,
she
then
starts
she
to
naturally.
be goes
And then
weird.
this is the thing, right? When you're one-on-one with someone, they're completely fine, but when they're in the group, they're someone else. That very high school thing started happening, and I was just like, well, this is a weak person.
Yeah.
Now that's rubbing off on me. I can't put myself through that. This is where the choice happens.
Yeah.
And she didn't understand when I told her. I told her.
She didn't get it.
She understood, but she didn't want to admit.
Yeah, that you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, and it's not only women, it's men too.
I think everyone does it.
Yeah, just human beings in general.
I think everyone, it's like when you go to a party or anything, like any social interaction with someone, you're not wanting to disturb the peace of someone's having a good time out there.
No, they're doing
To
wheelies.
Maybe in the car park.
Maybe.
Anyway, but I feel like in any natural setting that we kind of naturally do that mirroring. And I think that mirroring can obviously create that victim mentality because you're around someone else. So then you therefore
And then
are
they say,
trying
oh,
to
I'm
relate,
sorry.
are trying to relate as well. So you slip into moments when you felt like a victim
Yeah.
in circumstances. But to be honest with you, you've said this to me before. Your power is independent of what anyone. Yes, people can hurt you. People can be very violent towards you. But you kind of give away a power when you're upset by it. Because at the end of the day, someone being an arsehole to you
That's
has
their problem.
nothing to do with you. And
What's
if
that
you,
got to do with my path? Nothing.
Exactly. And if you kind of get into a victim mentality, you've kind of given away your power.
Yeah. And then you realize, oh, I knew the truth all along, but this
Yeah.
has upsetted me because you don't like confrontation.
Yeah.
Better someone coming up
But
to
I
you
also
doing
want to
this
say
just
that
so you
there's complex
understand.
situations
Yeah.
where you should go see a psychologist, a
100%.
therapist, and try and understand how you're viewing something and how you could review something.
But I find the universe, like in general, the people around you will tell you.
Yeah.
You find not only your friend is telling you, you did this the other day, it hurts me. It's not going to be one person. It's like when someone has a problem with you and you think that person is against you, chances are there's a whole heap of shit ton of people, but those people are not speaking up or saying anything.
Yeah. And
So it's kind of like, that's when you should take the hint that I need help.
Yeah.
And then when you do get help, say you're sorry.
Yeah.
Be the bigger man.
Yeah. Or woman.
Or woman. Not sexist here.
Mostly men.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Do you have anything more to add? Anything on a different perspective? Because we've talked a little bit about
Life
switching
is
out
tough.
of it.
And I don't blame you to play the victim. I think it's healthy in some regard to play the victim a little bit.
I think it's healthy to play a victim, but also to know your role.
Yeah, to know your limit, the balance. Again, this ties into every conversation that we have each week.
I don't think
the balance of things.
I don't think you can 100% always say.
Or
that
someone
you're a
calls you
victim.
like an asshole, and you're just like, okay, that's all right. I mean, that's weird. But there's something you need to process. Yeah.
To be honest with you, if someone does call you an asshole for being yourself, does that make you an asshole?
That's actually a validation that you're getting it right. Yeah.
That's what I was
If you're not
thinking,
hurting
yeah.
anyone.
Like, I understand, obviously, you don't want to hurt anyone, but etc. At the same time, it's just like you can't play small to bit other people. If you are
The
naturally...
balance, isn't it? You don't want
if
to be
you're
arrogant.
if you're naturally that type of person, it's just like, why dim your light
Yeah.
to fit in?
It's kind of like that. Also,
But
that
also
mentality.
don't outshine. I do agree with that.
It's
all
hard.
balance,
It's
yeah.
hard to be like, if you're like just a shit person, yeah, and
Yeah.
you own it, and people have a problem with you, at least they know who they're in for. Yeah.
I think so too. I think like
Which is true.
The better the devil you know,
Yeah.
the devil you don't know. And I do-
100%. Or
I
you
do
get
believe-
some sly git that's kind of like really nice, but you know that there's something going on ticking on up here in their brain. That I'm more scared of that person than the actual asshole.
Yeah, the asshole at least.
This could be just a person that I've never seen, like mentality I've never seen before.
Yeah, I agree. I think.
And I know people in high school that were like that, like with us. I've got a few names, like girl names. And I was just like, well, at least they're owning who they are. At least you know what to expect. What's the problem?
Yeah.
People were like, oh no, don't like her because of this, this, and this. I'm like, at least you know what this, and this is.
I think it's better someone who will call it out and say it out to your face than someone who's gonna just do it behind your back
Or use it against you.
when they need it.
I know you're insecure, but I'm going to be really nice to you. And then I'm going to throw you under the bus when I see fit.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's like, I
Shifty.
think that's human nature. And
Yeah.
it's also when people are hurting, they want to hurt other people.
Yeah. Or misery loves company.
Yeah, that's it. And if you hang with dogs, you get fleas.
Victoria said that. Wise words from the woman herself.
Yeah.
It's so
I
true.
think though, like also, if you're with one victim, you're gonna end up a victim.
Yeah. Not good energy.
No.
You're meant to be in light with the angels around you.
I believe in being in light and in service, but also understanding the role of shadow.
Yeah.
Because
That's kind of like
you
what
need-
Star Wars taught us.
Yeah. You need to understand both, because there's elements of when you need to do both.
Mm.
And you know, I believe the shadow should always be there.
You should know who the shadow is or what the shadow
Yeah.
is, but not be a devil.
Not be a devil,
Just
but
understand.
I just think that understand when you are being a devil
Yeah.
and either own it, like, and let the person know, you know, when you need to get into that, you know, ownership of that, whatever that situation is. I think that's important in life. I think too often people just play it nice and do things to please other people instead of just being like,
That's not real
no.
friendship. You find those people are not friends years later.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, that you're gonna have tough decisions, and not one person has to be right, because you both have your truth, and your truth is separate. Like, your truth's different to my truth.
Yeah.
So if I say something and you think something differently, it doesn't necessarily mean you're right, because your truth is
Your experience.
Your experience. So it's like someone telling you, no, you're not allowed to do that. Blah,
But
blah, blah,
do you know
blah,
when
if
you're
they're-
right? It's when you go and tell someone and they just don't want to talk about it
Yeah.
or don't want to put their input. And
I
it's not
think also
insecurity,
when-
it's just they have nothing to say because they know they're wrong.
Yeah. I think though, to me, I kind of feel, yes, I can see that there's moments when people are wrong, but I feel like we live in such a, what's the word, right and wrong society.
Yeah, why can't it just be all sunshine and rainbows?
Well, it can't.
It never can be.
But it has to not be, because
Otherwise we're gonna
sunshine
get
can't-
bored.
Sunshine can't exist.
No, without the shadow.
Yeah. It's that balance between
Moon
the
and
both.
sun. Yeah.
So
agree.
yes, you need some drama. And you know, people go, I don't love drama. Bullshit. Everyone needs a little bit of drama in their life, because if you didn't have drama, which was a timeline, nothing would get done.
Yeah, exactly. No lessons will be learned.
Yes.
You just be Dancing on the clouds.
I think that's like so true. You know, like people who go, I love drama, and other people go, I don't like drama.
Yeah.
It's just like everyone needs a little bit of drama in their life.
You do.
Yes, there's drama that you don't want when you just like, I don't need this right now, and there's drama that you do need, which is timelines, deadlines, stuff happens
Get it
that
done.
perpetuates you to move forward.
Yeah, I agree, James. Welcome.
Yeah. Well
Oh.
done.
Here you
Well
go.
done. We're
Well
not
done.
being a victim.
There we go. We're not being a victim.
No.
But honestly, if you feel like you need help, seek help.
Yeah.
Fully support that.
Definitely. In terms of if you're just going through a tough time, absolutely go get help. And it's okay to have.
And to say, I need help, that's 99% of the journey, yeah?
And I think like it's also important to realize when you are in a victim mentality to seek help. And also
That realization is the hardest, though.
And also to seek help if you're never ever being a victim. Because if you're never ever being a victim, you must think you're right all the time and you must be a narcissist.
It's one extreme to the next. Very
Well, actually,
fine
they
line.
kind of do play a victim, though, narcissists.
Yeah,
They're
it's
always
the same
victim,
thing.
yeah.
I would say it's the same
Yeah,
thing.
it
It's just
is.
one extreme to the
Yeah.
other. One's
Yeah.
one, the other one's the other end. Like,
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And next week we'll have something completely new. We don't know yet, but we'll
Or
surprise
do
you
we?
during. Do we?
Maybe.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.